I accidentally became the hero of my town's biggest annual event. I never expected to become anyone's hero, least of all in my own small town. I'm a quiet person, just working at the local hardware store and minding my business. But somehow, that all changed last summer. Every year, our town holds this huge festival, Town Days, with rides, food, and games. The event has been going on for decades, and everyone looks forward to it. There's one big tradition during the festival, the Big Race, a crazy relay race involving an obstacle course through the woods, a giant mud pit, and running across a slippery balance beam. It's pretty wild and always ends with someone getting hurt, or at least muddy. I usually avoid the race, but this year, my friend Tom somehow convinced me to join his team. I had never run an obstacle course before and was never the athletic type, but Tom's enthusiasm was contagious. I agreed, mostly because I didn't want to let him down. Fast forward to the day of the race. We start out fine, but right at the beginning, one of the other teams, let's call them the Jocks, decided to sabotage us. They set up a fake shortcut in the woods that led straight into a thorn bush. When we followed it, we completely tangled up and lost valuable time. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I ran off the course and straight into the woods to find an alternative way back. I knew a path that wasn't on the map, one I had taken as a kid, and I figured it might give us a chance to catch up. I made it through the thick brush, scrambled over rocks, and found a hidden bridge that no one else knew about. By the time I got back to the race, I was covered in mud, but I had found a way through the tough spot. I flagged down Tom and told him to rally the team. To my surprise, we ended up finishing the race ahead of the sabotaging team, and the crowd went wild. The Jocks got disqualified for cheating, and we won by default. It wasn't exactly the kind of victory I expected, but everyone in town treated us like we were heroes. Afterward, people started calling me the underdog champion, and even started asking me for advice on how to navigate through the woods. It became this weird little local legend. That one time I found a hidden path and saved the day. I still don't really know what happened, but for a few months, I was the town hero. People I barely knew would wave at me on the street, and I even got free coffee a couple of times. I guess sometimes, you don't need to plan to be a hero, you just end up being one by accident. The odd thing was, though, that I started to feel a bit uncomfortable with the attention. It was nice at first, but I didn't like being the center of it all. I didn't want to be known as the guy who saved the race. I just wanted to go back to my quiet life. So, eventually, I took a step back from the limelight. A few months later, I was at the same hardware store, just minding my business, when a local family came in to buy supplies for a backyard project. They recognized me and said, "Hey, aren't you the guy from the Big Race? You were amazing." Instead of brushing it off, I smiled and chatted with them for a bit. That's when I realized that maybe being the hero wasn't so bad after all, not for the fame, but for the connections it brought. In the end, I never sought out the spotlight, but it did teach me something important. Sometimes, it's the unexpected moments that bring us together, and you don't need to be a superhero to make a difference in